Hey viewers, you're watching the Savera and I'm Vidhi Joshi. Amid mounting global pressure over Russia's energy revenues and a fresh wave of American sanctions targeting Moscow's oil sector, India has articulated a firm and measured position on its energy policy. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference, External Affairs Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar made it clear that India's energy purchases will be guided by cost, risk and availability, not by political pressure. His remarks came against the backdrop of claims by US President Donald Trump and the Secretary of State Marco Rubio that New Delhi had agreed to halt additional purchases of Russian oil following the latest round of US sanctions. Addressing the conference in Munich, alongside German Foreign Minister Jaishankar underscored that India remains deeply committed to strategic autonomy. He described it as a foundational principle of India's foreign policy, rooted in its history and political evolution, and one that enjoys broad consensus across the political spectrum, emphasizing that India's decisions would remain sovereign and independent. He stated that New Delhi would continue to make choices based on its own national interest, even if those decisions do not align with the expectations of other countries. Well, the statements followed assertions from Washington that India had provided assurances about curbing additional imports of Russian crude. Rubio said that at the same conference that after the United States imposed new sanctions on Russia's energy exports, it had secured India's commitment to stop buying additional Russian oil. Earlier, Donald Trump characterized India's alleged agreement to reduce Russian purchases and increase energy imports from the US as a key outcome of renewed trade negotiations. Well, despite all these claims, India has neither formally confirmed nor explicitly denied making such a commitment, maintaining a cautious and balanced stance. Jaishankar described the global oil market as highly complex and influenced by multiple variables. He explained that Indian oil companies, like their counterparts in Europe and elsewhere, base procurement decisions on commercial considerations, such as price competitiveness, reliability of supply, and the risk associated with specific sources. Well, all these assessments, he stressed, are made in the best interest of the Indian economy and its energy security, rather than in response to external political demands. The energy question has unfolded alongside a broader recalibration of India-US trade relations, following a recent phone conversation between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump. Both the sides announced a significant reduction in US tariffs on Indian goods, lowering them from 50% to 18%, and the rollback also included the removal of a 25% tariff imposed last year in response to India's continued imports of Russian crude. During the period of strained trade ties, Donald Trump had repeatedly urged India to scale back its purchases from Moscow amid the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. And since the outbreak of the Ukraine war, India has significantly increased its imports of discounted Russian crude, which now account for roughly 35% of its total oil requirements. And at the same time, India has diversified its energy basket, with US crude representing nearly 10% of total imports, alongside new agreements for American liquefied petroleum gas. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov dismissed reports that India had assured Washington of halting additional purchases, noting that no such statement had been made by New Delhi. Taken together, the contrasting narratives highlight the delicate balancing act India faces. And as global energy flows shift and geopolitical tensions persist, New Delhi's message remains consistent that while partnerships may evolve and trade arrangements may shift, India will retain full control over its strategic decisions, guided firmly by national interest and strategic autonomy. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.